Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining the session today. Um, we'll be covering Unit 3. Unit 3 and 4 are supposed to go together, which is why some of us have already done our task for Unit 3 and Unit 4 on Google LMS, which is Exceed LMS. Some people had some confusion. Skillshare Google LMS. So I'm just going to call it Google LMS. That's Google Learning Management System. It used to be called Skillshare a few months ago. I think they just changed the name because, like I said, they're going through some round of changes. So whenever you see an assignment say Skillshare or Google LMS, it's the same thing. That is where you go to do the theoretical part of the units that you're supposed to cover. I just want to lay some groundwork. So, a few of us, quite a number of us have submitted our assignments, which is relatively impressive. For those of us who haven't, I think we had a week long, uh, we had a week long, how do you put it? It's opening on this side. We had a week long grace of extension, and I suppose those who wants to submit have already submitted. Those who didn't want to submit, those who didn't submit means they never really wanted to submit. So of the submissions, so we have 59, and that's about 95 submissions. And there will be no further extension for this one. Um, let me just compare that with the number from the first assignment. The first assignment, okay, I've already marked everything, so I wouldn't know. Anyway, so to make the grading quicker and faster, I will check in the work. I won't going forward. I won't wait until the deadline before I start grading, so that we can quickly get over and know where we stand in terms of grading. So as you turn in your assignment, I will grade your assignment. Please just make sure that you are done by the time you are turning in your assignment, such that when I grade the assignment, you won't come back and say, "Oh, I didn't finish." The questions are quite simple and clear to understand. So I don't see any reason why, excuse me, we should have issues with understanding the question. That's secondly. Thirdly, is that I see people chatting me up directly. Like I mentioned, every chat concerning this class should be within the class, not on WhatsApp, on the groups on WhatsApp, but within this class. Please let's keep it at that so that things are not mixed up. Everybody knows where matters that concern the class are properly addressed. All right. Um, I will just, before we start, I will oblige two questions because I see two people raise their hands. So let's start with Rhoda. All right. If Rhoda doesn't have a question, let's start with, let's go ahead to Patricia.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Rotimi.
Good afternoon.
Yes, please. So I have question based on the first assignment you gave us. And
Okay.
then my grading, I don't know where the problem came from. Was it that the assignment wasn't properly done? Or because I
What
know
did you,
I submitted before
what was your
the due
grading?
date. I got F.
You got F.
Yes.
Everybody that I graded that completed the assignment, the 59 people graded that completed the assignment, all got 98. If I return, did you see me return your assignment?
No, not at all. And I submitted even days before the due date.
Okay, so I haven't graded anybody today. There are still 30 something people. Okay, anyways, what's your name?
It's
Okay,
Patricia.
Patricia.
Yes, it's me.
Yeah, it's not graded. You shouldn't have F. I haven't graded you.
Okay, well, I have F on my end here. So
Or
that's I
which
was
one?
wondering.
Unit one
The
or
first,
unit?
the first one, the first assignment.
Yeah. Unit zero. I'm trying to check it. Although
Hmm.
that one is just to turn in screenshots. That's fine.
And I was surprised when I saw that. I'm like, what's going on?
Okay. Still loaded. Okay, Patricia. Graded. So I will see if you have work uploaded.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
So you didn't submit anything. So there's no way you did not submit. Maybe you posted the assignment on the stream in the classroom. If you
No, no,
submitted it, this is
that was
your
not.
this is your work. Okay. I'm going to click on somebody that has a grade and you will see how it looks like. So if I click on um, that person's work will show in the middle here. I can open it and then I'll see that the person submitted um, unit one and two. It's clear. Okay. So for you, there is there is nothing. So if there is nothing submitted, then you can expect a grade.
Of course, I did. I
You are
submitted.
not supposed.
Even the one for
If you submitted, it will be there. It's not there. So unfortunately, you didn't submit, or maybe you submitted and you didn't. You maybe you submitted it the wrong way. Some people went into the stream and posted their work in the stream, and I remember repeatedly saying, if you post your work here, it will not be graded. It's not considered as submission.
I went to add work. That was what I did.
Well, if it's submitted, you will find it there, but it's not there, so it's not submitted. Maybe you
Okay,
tried
so
submit and your network did not allow. Uh,
it's possible
um,
because the network was really bad on that day. But I just had to do it anyway.
all right, so we'll just push the questions to the end of the class. 25 minutes is gone already. We have a long way to go today.
Okay,
All
no
right, so
problem. But I'd like to get a quick earlier notification about this one too, so that let me know if I have to resend again also because I've
if
turned in
your
my
if you see your work has turned in, it's turned in. Again, when you turn in, better you check your work. If you have network issues, then check your. You can always go and see what you've attached. If it is attached, it will be there. You'll see. If you had gone to check in your work, you will have seen that there was nothing there. So I can't be going individually to confirm that your work is done. I would
I
go and grade people, and then so it's your responsibility to ensure that you submit your work and to be sure that your work is submitted. As you can see in the class, there are close to 600 students. So there's no way I can attend to people individually. I will go in. My responsibility is to pass you the assignment. Your job is to submit it, and then I grade. So when you submit your work, be sure that it's submitted.
okay, it's noted. Thank you for your time.
All right. Okay, so today we'll go straight into Unit 3, and we'll be covering three aspects of Unit 3. Move your files into Drive. Good thing we've done part of this last week. I will still review. And that last week or 2 weeks ago, we went through um, creating folders, setting up OneDrive, accessing all of the applications on Google, and how to access those applications, some of the use cases for those applications. We ended up the class by um, creating a file, creating folders, uploading files and uploading folders. And I gave you assignments where you are supposed to create a folder and create fresh documents into those folders. Then secondly, you are supposed to upload a folder from your computer or from your phone, whichever is the case, and also upload documents. So a great part of one part of Unit 3 has been covered in terms of practical. So we'll go over again to making fewer copies, then bringing your quiz online using Google Forms. So that's some of the topics we'll cover today. I'll try to go a little as fast as I can. Like I said, I'll focus on practicals, the theories and the questions online. You can always go back and refresh yourself with that. So I would go through this video. Why is this like this? So I will go through this task list and quickly go through it. Get to Drive, create new files, upload new files, convert new files. We've already done that. We've already done 1 to 4. Now I will start again from number 5. Somebody says my volume. Can you hear me audibly?
From the
So
end.
what did you say?
It's okay. The volume is okay. Go on.
All right. Okay. Let me just switch over to my computer. This is what we will do today. But as part of the um, going through this task, I will also cover a few things that we've done before. So, like I said, you go into your mail, and that's the easiest way, or in Google, you'll be able to access your applications using the Google Apps icon. Click on that, you go into Drive. So we're looking at accessing, uh, get to Drive, create new files, and all of that. And last week I explained that home. I explained that what my drive is it's your personal hard drive on the cloud. Shared drives uh, um, is a kind of drive where when you have when you have one or two people working in a team and you want to put a folder together or a resource together that all of you can have access to. So shared drive, as its name means, is like on your computer where you share a drive over the network. If you are not tech savvy, what it means is you have a hard drive and multiple people have access to it as a team. So what is in that hard drive does not belong to one person, but to all of you. So shared drive is good. Then there is also share with me, resources or documents that people share with you that does not originate from you. That is what you find on that share with me. So today, last week we created upload folder, download folder. So I'm going to create a folder so that we will work on that folder today. So I'll click on create folder, a new folder. I'll call this folder. I think I have a folder already. Let me just look at GC3. Okay, there's no camp. So inside of GC, I'll create a camp4 folder. I'll just call it camp4. So that's how simple it is to create a folder. Now, we want to talk about, let me put this here so that it's easier. Just scroll through. So manage folder, we've looked at upload. Upload just means you go into that folder and then you can click file upload, you upload file. I walked us in details through doing that on your phone, online, and how you can sync your device to the cloud. So we don't have to go through all of that anymore. But manage folder just talks about how you can structure your folders. Like you see, I have camp 3, camp 2, batch 1. So the same way you structure folders on your laptop, you can structure folders on your drive that same way. And then you can use color code to differentiate. So use color code, you right click on it, and then you go to organize, right click organize, and you can choose color. So for example, you're a maths teacher, you teach grade 1 to 5, you can have one folder for each grade level, and then you use color to identify them, to give it a visual, to make it visually easily easily identifiable when you just look at it visually. You know which color represents which grade level. So you can use color. So that's how you manage your device. You will manage your folder. Let's say I have another folder inside here. I create a folder. I just call it week 1 for camp 4, right? And I want to move it into camp 4. I can either just click on it and drag it into it, or I can right click it and click on organize and click on move. So that's how you manage. I move, where do I want to move it to? I want to move it into camp 4. I select camp 4 and click on move, and the file gets moved into camp 4 folder. So that's a little bit about managing your folder. Now, the next thing is share files and share folders. Traditionally, how we um, transfer files from one another is probably through emails. You create a file on your computer, and then you create an email, attach the file, and send it to somebody. And then that person downloads it and works on it, attaches it, and send it back to you. Every time you do that, you are not working on the same document anymore, because you can't see my screen. I think it has to do with you. You can go out and come in again. My screen is visible. So every time somebody sends you a file and you download it, it's no longer the same file, because you've downloaded it and then you add your own part to it and then you send it back to that person. Or another way we do files right now is we put it on a flash drive and hand the flash drive to somebody, so that the person can work on the same file, and then it's in the same it's in the same flash drive. Or you send it over WhatsApp, the person downloads it, and the person sends it back to you. As much as that is effective, or that gets the job done, but there is a more effective way that Google Drive and Google platform will enable us to do that. You are able to, within your folder, within the same document, you can share an entire folder. So I don't have to download the folder, zip it, and send it to you. So we'll be playing around with students. Let me see, student 1. So I'll open student 1 in another place so that we can. I have to keep doing this. Let me just copy it. I hope I remember this password. Oh, that's great. Okay. So this is student 1 is also in the class. So I will be moving between student 1 and then the teacher. So let me drop this on this side, which is this one. All right, so this is me as a teacher, and then this is student 1. So let's say, for example, student 1 is in camp 4. I have created the course material for the entire year, and I put it in camp 4. Let's look for a document and put a document in here. So I'll create a document here, just a hypothetical document, and I'll call it lesson plan. Okay, there's nothing in that document. We'll come back to it. So I have that document in week 1 of camp 4, and camp 4 is where I want all the resources for this training to be in. I could either download it and send it to the student, and then the moment they download it, also it's no longer the same file like I have. And when I send them a file, they have full control over that file, and that's where we will also look at search for file, move file. Okay, we'll look at ownership. So here, how do I share this folder? I can right click on the folder. I'll right click on the folder and I'll click on share. So you can do that by right-clicking on the folder and clicking on share. That's one way to do it. Or you can come to this side. You see the human head and the plus sign. You just click on that. It brings you here. The same thing you do if you right-click. Where's the camp for? GC training, camp for. I right-click and I click on share. So I want to share it with student one. So I'm sharing it with this student. Immediately, it gives me a space for me to compose a message. Traditionally, I will have had to download it, open my Gmail, compose, attach it, but that doesn't do that. This gives me the opportunity that on the file or on the folder, I can send a message, and then I can decide whether I want to notify the person or not. So I'm notifying him. I will just say, hello, student. This is the course material semester. All right. Then, as a teacher, traditionally, when I send you something, you automatically have full right over it. But what this does, I can decide what kind of access I want to give you. Do I want to give you an editor's access? When I give you an editor's access, means you have access to edit whatever is there. So if I'm a teacher, there are a lot of use cases. If I'm a teacher, I want to share a document with a student. I don't want them to edit it. I make them viewer. When I change your status to viewer and I'm sharing a folder, everything within that folder, I'm giving you access to the folder, but everything within that folder would assume the DNA of the folder, just like a son and a daughter would take the DNA and the traits from their parents. The same thing. If I'm sharing a folder with you, everything in that folder will assume the permission or the access that I give to you. So if I say you are a viewer or you are a commenter, we'll talk more about this later on. But this is how you share. So if I click on send, I'm giving them editing right now. I click on send. Immediately, that student will get an email, or whoever it is will get an email, and you can see the email is here. Folder shared with you, Camp 4. Rotimi Afelimo shared the folder with you. If you open it, you will see the message. So rather than me downloading the folder, uploading it into an email, composing an email, putting the student's email, and then sending it to all of them, all I can do here is just right-click the folder, share it. This is the beauty of online collaborative platforms like Google, like Microsoft and Apple. These three have these collaborative features. So the student can open it directly. It will open in the drive. You can see that this is the person that owns it. Owner shows you who owns it. And if he clicks on it, he will be able to see all of the lesson plans. Please mute yourself. He'll be able to see all of the lesson plans and all of the resources that I have given to that student. He has access to it. So this is how you share folder. And the same way you share folder is the same way you share a file. If it is a file, I've just done folder now. If it is a file, I can right-click on the file also and click on share. The same way you type in this, you can see that this student has, and again, you will know everybody that has access to your file. If I don't want this student to access this particular file, I can take him away. So whereas, let's say I have 20 documents in this folder, I have given him access to the parent folder, and he has inherited the rights from the parent folder. I can still go into each of the documents and remove him from the one I don't want him to have access to. You can see diverse ways to do this. So let's say, for example, I have a folder for my grade 1, and inside of my grade 1 folder, I have a folder for all of my students. And inside the folder for each one of them is where I put their work, their report card, everything. I put it there. I can then share the folder with them and give every student access to only their own folder. So even if I give you access to grade 1, when you open grade 1, you will only be able to see your own folder.
you will not be able to see every other person's folder. So this is a way, a use case. Another use case is if you know your parents have access to internet and you want to share student work with them, you can create folders for each of the students and give each parent access only to their children's folder. And that way, communication is easy for you between you and parents. Every week, you can put the student work and all of that, all the information they need to know about their student, you can put it there. I'm taking time to explain this because, again, for me, it's not so much about the exam as it is about you knowing how to use these tools and which the best way for you to use them within your class. So that's how you share files and folders. How do you search for files and folders? There are some easy thing that makes you search for a folder. So for example, I can add star to a folder. By starring the folder means I want this folder. I like this file. I start this file. So how do you search for a folder? You can just click here and you search for the name of the folder, lesson plan, and it will bring out all the lesson plans. Everything that you have that starts with lesson, it will bring it up. That's one way you can search. You can also modify those search criteria files. You can select the location. Where is this file? Okay, I know this file is in my drive, so I'm narrowing it down to my drive. You see, as I narrow down to my drive, the ones that are not in my drive are kicked out. I can say, okay, this file is a document, not a folder. If I click on document, see, some of them begins to eliminate. This file, who sent it to me? This file is owned by me. I am the owner. So it's also for that. Then if I say modified, no, it's today, not in the last 7 days. If I click on today, you can see it keeps narrowing down. So this box here allows you to do all sorts of searches. And then I can decide, okay, let's remove all of this filter. I want to also search. If you click on this filter icon, it gives you that same option. What kind of file am I looking for? Do I know the name? What kind of file am I looking for? Who sent it to me? Is it by me, by somebody, or specific person? If a specific person, you type the email address of that person. Student one sent me a file. Then do you have any particular word? Do you have the item name? This particular word talks about even the word that is written inside the document. Maybe you know there's a sentence in that document. You don't know the name of the document. You don't know, you've completely forgotten what type of document it is. But you can search by even the word that is inside of that document. Location, trash, start. So if I'm looking for a word that is lesson and is start, remember I just start one thing just now. I click on start. A specific person, no specific person is owned by me. I can date modified. You can also specify. If I click on search, you will see that it brings out lesson plan because I started. Remember, I just started recently. So these are ways for you to search through documents as you use the search icon within Google Drive. It's very useful and it will help you a lot. All right. The next one is search files, move files. Again, we've already talked about how to move files. I used that as an example earlier in this class today. Let's say, for example, this week one now, I'm tired of it. Okay, let's say this one. I right click. I can also organize and I can move it. That's how you move. It's either you drag or you right click it, organize, move, and move it to whichever location you want. So I'll move it back into Camp 4. It used to be in week 1. It will ask you, you are moving, the access will change, and the people that have access to the folder you are moving it to will automatically have access to this file. Yeah, I don't mind about that. My screen is blank from your end. I think you need to join again. My screen is very clear. So if I go to Camp 4, I can see that the file is in Camp 4. I'm going to move it back into week 1. And that's how you move folder. It will prompt the same thing. That's how you move. The next one is prevent sharing. So traditionally, when I send you a document, you can do anything with it, and I don't have control. Not this time. If I have a document that I have worked on and I want to give you the privilege of seeing it, I can determine what you can do. I can determine whether you can view it, or you can edit it, or you can comment it. I can determine for how long you have it. I can determine that you will not have it anymore if I use this. So let's say, for example, remember I had shared this with this student, and this student has edit right. Remember, he has an edit right, so he can type into it. Whatever he types into it, and we will get back to that. If I go in, I will see it real time online. Please just pay attention to my screen. You see here, this is Rotimi, that is me as the teacher. And then here is student. So when I flip screen, just take note of that. And we will do this in detail. You can see that whatever the student types here, I can also see it almost immediately, and I can see who is inside that document. So I can decide, oh, this person is messing up my document too much. So what I want to do, I want to completely remove him. But before I do that, I think I'm jumping. I can change his access to view only. He will not be able to. And it's asking me, okay, do I want to update the parent? I don't want to update the parent. I just want to. He has access to Camp 4, but not to this document anymore, because I want him to have access to other documents. So I'll change the view right. And then I click on save. All right. So let's go back to that student. Let's refresh and let's see what happens. Come on.
Please, I can't see your screen, sir.
No, my screen is clear. You should come out and come in again. I'm still sharing my screen. I didn't change my screen. You can see that immediately now, he no longer has access to edit. He can no longer edit my document. So that's one thing. I can change your right and permission and what you can do with regards to my document. I can also determine for how long you have that document. So let's say I give you edit right again. You can see I can add expiration date that, okay, this student, you will only be able to access the document until tomorrow. After tomorrow, you will not be able to access the document anymore. And I'm giving you until November 25th. I can set the time of expiration. Once that time comes, that student will lose access to that document. So that's how this works. Then I'm giving this student access rights. Remember, what we're trying to do is prevent sharing. I've given you access right. I have full rights to my document, but I also don't want you to share my document with any other person. I want you to be able to see it, do stuffs on it, but I don't want you to share my document with other persons. I can do that by clicking here. I'm changing the settings. Setting for lesson plan. Allow editors to change my permission. I don't want you to change my permission. So you cannot share. And I can also determine, I don't want you to download, copy, and print. You will not be able to download it. You will not be able to copy it. You will not be able to print it. I can determine that. So I'm changing all of those rights. So these students, the only thing they can do on this document is read it. They cannot print it. They cannot download it. They cannot copy anything from it. They will not be able to copy from it. And also, the only way they can take anything from this document is if I take a phone and they snap it. And that's the only way. But so it gives you right to control your document. Unlike when I send you a document and then you have full control over that document. So that's that. Let's look at the last thing. Give ownership. So let's say, for example, the use case for this is I'm your supervisor. I'm the head of maths department, and all the maths teachers are supposed to collaborate and come up with a lesson plan. So what I decided to do is I created the document for everybody. Okay, grade 1, this is your document. Grade 2, this is your document. I give them access to it. Grade 1 teacher, go and work on this. And as they began to work on it, they are contributing, they are doing all their work. I don't have to be getting them to send me the document. I can always open it and check their work. And we'll look at how that works. So let's now say I have reviewed it, they have done their work, and everything is done. I now want to transfer it back to them as, okay, this is now your document. I want to take myself out of it. I want to transfer ownership. A use case could also be that you created a document for a student to work on, and after the student have done all the work, he's perfected it, you can transfer ownership to him. Or maybe you're a lecturer, a student is giving you created you and the student is collaborating, or you're supervising a student, you can create documents for him, and the student you can transfer ownership later on. So this is me, this is my document. I can now go in, right click, and share. So for you to transfer ownership to somebody, the person has to be part of the document. You have to have shared the document with that person. So I can click here, you see, transfer ownership. Once I do that and I click yes, the ownership notification sends to the user, and you can see I am now an editor and the student is now the owner. Let's go over to the student side. If I reload this document now, you will see that automatically he won't need to request for access because he now owns the document. And if he goes to file and goes to share, again, that's where you can access, you will see that he can now decide, oh, I don't like my teacher anymore, or I don't want my teacher to have access to this work anymore, or we are done, this document is now mine. He can decide to kick me out. Or he can, no, or because I transferred to him, so he can't remove it. So I can remove myself. Let me see. Actually, you should be able to remove me eventually. Let's see how it goes. Let me go to let's go to his drive. That document still in his drive. So the document is still inside Camp 4. That's why he can't move me out, because I am still owner of the parent folder. A good example is your child is now married. No matter how married he is, he cannot say, even if he decides he doesn't want to bear your name, he still carries your gene. So that's the same situation here. I own Camp 4 and Week 1, and this folder is within that. So although the folder belongs to the student now, he still cannot remove me because that folder is still within the parent folder that I own. Just like you have a room that you have given your son a room in your house. He can lock the door of the house, but he cannot send you out of the house because the whole house belongs to you. He only has access to a room. All right, so that's that about giving ownership, the fact that you can transfer ownership. So let's run through and then go through the next. Somebody's laughing. I try to just use this example so that you can, even if you don't remember some things, you can remember you own a house, you give your son a room. That doesn't mean he can lock the door of his room, but that doesn't mean he can kick you out of the house. You always have access to the house. So all of this, I'm preparing your own PowerPoint that I'll be giving you as time goes on. So these are just examples of files, how you can minimize and all of that. So I talked about using color code to color code all your documents. The answers to this question we already know, because if you've done Unit 3 and 4, you should be able to have access to all of this. All right. The next one we'll look at is now document. Again, we've done number 1. We've touched on number 2 a little bit. We'll just go into all of them one by one. I'm really going very slow. But Unit 3 and 4 are very critical to whatever we'll be doing. Sorry, I have. All right, so let's go back to me I'll create another, I'll make a copy so that I can use that because I've transferred this to the students. So let me, now you see that I can't make a copy because the fact that the student is now the owner and the settings on that document says don't make copy, don't print. That's why I'm not able to do all of that. So I'm going to make a new document for myself as a teacher. I'll create and share. I'll call it lesson note this time around. The student will have access to it because it's in a folder that he also has access. And whatever settings is on that folder, that setting is what he will have made him view right. So he only has view right. Now, if you go into the folder itself, in the Camp 4 folder, remember when we updated the rights to view right. So he only has view right. Now I'll change his right to editor. And so if I go into the folder again now, he will have an editor right. Now what we want to test is share a doc. We've done that before, and let me just walk you through it again. You want to share a doc, you just right click. There are a few ways you can find the share. You can click on share. Within the document, there are two ways. Outside the document, there are also two ways. So within the document, you can click on share here, and you will have it. Within the document, I mean, somebody's muted the person. Then within the document, you can click on file. When you click on file, you will see share, and then you can share with others. Outside the document, you click on this, you go into the location of the document, lesson notes, you can right click and you will still see share. Or if you hover your cursor on the document, you will see the share icon here. So those are the 4 places where you can share a document. So I'm going to right click, then click on share. That's how you share. You can determine, viewer means they can view, commenter means they can only comment, they can make suggestions. And that suggestions, I as the owner of the document can now decide I want to accept it or I do not I want to accept it. We look at the practicality of that. The use case of that is I am a teacher, I give you an assignment, you share it with me, I have a commenting right. I can provide feedback even as your task is going on. So I can go and comment, okay, you made an excuse, you made an error here. Can you correct this? Even as a supervisor doing doing the project, supervising your project, instead of you coming to me every week with hard copies or soft copy, you can share this with me, and you can tell me when you're done with Unit 2, Chapter 2. I review your Chapter 2. I provide all my comments instead of asking you to photocopy and then I write on it, and we have to go and work on the soft copy. All of these are easily done using such tools. Use add-ons. So for Google, add-ons are extensions, things that allow you to do more with Google tools. Google allow third party to develop applications that can work on all their tools. To extend the functionalities of their tools. So every Google tools has a app place where you can go and download add-ons that allows you to do even much more. So for example, and the reason for this is maybe I have a need. I want my Word document to be able to generate quiz for me without me going outside. I want to be able to generate quiz. Then I will also, and I have the ability to develop such add-on. I will just develop the add-on and make it available. And so people can go and download it. Some people sell theirs, and some people make it available for free. So every Google tool has the area for add-ons. So you click on extension, and you'll be able to click on add-ons. So these are some of the add-ons that I have. AI generator. So from within Google app, I can generate image. I can generate video. I can check plagiarism. These are just add-ons that I downloaded. You can download as many add-on, and there are a lot of them. So I'll just walk you through how to do that. So you click on extension, you click on add-on, and you click on get add-on. Manage add-on is how you manage all the add-ons that you have. Click on get add-ons. It takes you to the add-on store or the extension store, and you'll be able to see a whole lot of extensions. Notebook, chat with PDF, with any PDF. So I'm looking for an extension that works with Google Doc because I am on Google Doc. If I am on Drive, I will look for extension that works with Drive. So for, like I said, for every Microsoft, for every Google tool, you will have extensions that work with them. So this is Canva, enables seamless design by integrating tools like Gmail, Drive, and all of that. So I can look for anyone that suits me. Let's say I look for okay, highlight. I want to highlight tools. You know, I want to be able to do different color of highlighting. So I like this add-on. Then I can click on install. When you click on install, it brings you here. It will ask you for permission to connect. Which account are you connecting me with? I click on that account. Then I will have to give it permission, continue. And then it tells me some of the tools that you want access to. I will allow. You have to do all of this. And once that is done, it will install, and then that add-on is ready to use. It will tell you where you can find it, which is under extension. Done. So what I'll do, I'll close this. I'll just refresh that page, go to extension, and you should be able to find highlight tools. So you want to use it. Let's just say I type this. This is me testing how to highlight. Okay. All right, so I go to the extension that I want to use, and then I say start highlighting. Let's see how it works. Okay, so I want to use this one. Highlight text. No text selected. So this text, how do I highlight is orange. Highlight text. You see, I highlighted it. So then I choose another one. So a good use case for this is you put this tool on this document, you ask people to collaborate, and you say, okay, student one, all your text highlight it in blue, all your text highlight it in green, so that you use that to know who should. But this is just simply how you install an add-on to a document. An add-on allows you to extend the feature of whatever Google tool you are using. Type with voice. So let's say, for example, so let's say, for example, I have children in my class that either find it difficult to type or to write, or even you yourself, you have an idea in your head and you are lazy to type. You can type using voice. So let's see how that is done. You go to, I keep forgetting this. Okay, you go to tool and you click on voice typing. You click on it. You have to allow for the first time because you're using a browser, so I'm allowing. This is me using text to voice to complete a task on Google Doc. All right, let me remove this highlighting that we did. So there will be times that you have an idea, or there will be times that you are planning for something. You know what you want to type, but it takes you longer time to type. You can just speak, and Google will listen to it and type. If you have students that are at different levels, Some students cannot articulate themselves publicly. This gives them a voice. You have students with special needs, students that can't type, they can speak, they can still communicate. They can still, they can still communicate their ideas out by using this. Okay, so I'm going to lock everybody's microphone. So this is how you use voice typing. Just go to Tools and you select voice typing. For the first time, it will ask you to authorize. Once you've authorized the second time, you just need to click it. Once you click, then you begin to speak, and it stays. Click hello, and then you are able to. I think I need to give you permission again. You are able to type into the text, and everything you type will be there. Creating hyperlink. A good example of that is I could so let's say, for example, I have a YouTube, I have a link. This is a link to a YouTube video. Let's say this one. So I can copy this link and paste it here. It's nice. Google sees it here because it's a Google link. But let me look for another. Let's just look for a Wikipedia link. Okay, so this is, I think Google will recognize this too. Okay, so this doesn't look really very pretty. What I can do is I can say, let's say I'm talking about, please watch this video on respiration. All right. So rather than just copying the link here, what I can do is I can take this link and wrap it around this word and create an hyperlink. That's what's called an hyperlink. So I'll copy this, for example, and then I'll highlight this word. When I highlight this word and I right click it, you'll see insert a link. I click on that. So the word is respiration and the link behind it is this video. When I click on apply, you see that now it's more presentable. Please watch this video on respiration. And if I click on it, I can see the video directly. So rather than having a bunch of long, not pleasant to read text, I can wrap it around a more presentable word. So instead of saying, please watch this video on respiration and then pasting the link behind it, I can create the word respiration as an hyperlink. And that makes my work more presentable. So that's how you do hyperlink. You can hyperlink a picture, you can hyperlink a text. So let's say we'll look at this later on. Let's say I insert an image. Let's say I get the image from the web. Let it load image. Search respiratory organ. I search an image. How I did this was just go to insert image and I search an image from the web. Let's say this is the image I searched from the web. I click on this and I insert it into my diagram. I have hyperlinked this word, right? I can also hyperlink this image by right-clicking it, inserting a link, and I insert the same link to that same video. I apply it. Anytime you hyperlink a picture, it will change into a hand. So that image is there. So when I click on it, you can see that YouTube video and I can open it. So that's the beauty of hyperlink. Commenting. Commenting is when you give somebody access that is a commenter access, then the person is able to comment. So let's say I change the student's access to a commenter. That means I want him to only comment on this document. So I click on this and I share that document with him. Let's see how it will look like for him. When he clicks on it, he opens it. You can see he's in a suggesting mode. If he can ask for edit, but I don't want to give him edit. So he's in a suggesting mode. Anything he does will be a suggestion, a comment. So this is one way you give that person a commenting role. So let's say this is my student, and I saw this is the student, and he wants to make a suggestion. He will say, please. You can see that immediately he does that. Something he says here that student 111 is typing something. Please, I don't understand. Providing me a comment. And if I go into my document, I can see that comment, that this student comment. I can decide to accept it. Let's say it's a contribution that the student is making. I can decide to accept it. And once I accept it, then it becomes part of that document. And I can decide to reject it. Once I reject it, it disappears. So let's say the student now, let's say the student provides a definition. Respiration is respiration. It does that. And I see, oh, respiration is respiration. This is a good one. Then I can accept it. Immediately I accept it, it becomes part of that document. So these are ways that we can use this. Again, maybe you are working with a colleague, you are supposed to build something together. He makes suggestions, you accept it, or you can reject it. Or you can also just right click here or highlight something and add a comment, and can now say, okay, it can tag you actually and say at Rotimi and assign these tags to you and say, please elaborate on this. If it is tagging you, let's say we have multiple people working on a document and I want to give a specific person something to do or call somebody's attention to something. So I can highlight and add a comment and then tag that person. I can tag that person. Remember, it's just two people in this document I'm working with. So I can tag that person. That person will get an email telling him that something has been tagged or assigned to him within this document. And he can go and resolve it or fix it. These are ways, even for you as a teacher, that you can use to relate to your student. So you can see, I can see now as a teacher that there is a comment. At the top here, I can see all comments. I can scroll down and see all the comments within this document. And the comment that is assigned to me, I can find it under here. I can see that. So let's check if I got an email. First of all, the email sometimes takes a while to come. But if you go inside chat, it will come also in your Google Doc chat. And you can see that this student has assigned me a task to do. And assigned me a task to carry out. I'll jump to the bottom. So you can see it, lesson note, please elaborate on this. I can reply him, I can open the document, or I can mark it as resolved. Once I mark it as resolved, it stays as resolved. But let me see when that email comes. It normally takes a while for the tag emails to come in, but we can check that later on. So that's how you comment in certain items. For Google Doc, whatever you want to use, whatever you want to insert, you can click here and insert. You can insert images, we just did that. You can insert tables, that's table. You can insert, you can insert tables, even table blocks, tasks, simple decision, review checker, content launch tracker. All of the things you can insert are here. Meeting notes, custom building block. There is a lot of things are new here actually. Smart chips, dates, people, a timer. You you can insert a timer. So a lot of things can be inserted. That's where you insert. You can insert links, you can insert drawings, you can insert charts, bar chart, column chart, pie chart. Whatever you want to insert, you find it under insert. You are able to add things to your document. That's how you insert to documents. Word count. You want to know how many words is in a document. It's tools, word count. Click on that. It tells you there's a one page, number of words is 40, character is 20, character excluding spaces is 120, 168. So that's how you uh, if you want to display, let's say you're a teacher or you're working on something, you're asked to write 500 words essay. You can come here and check this box so that as you are typing, it will be displaying the count going down, and you know when you hit your 500. Publish a doc. Let's say I have finished working on this doc, and I want to make it available for people on the internet, across the internet. Now, sharing a link is also making it available to people, but now publishing is that they can take that link, excuse me, they can take that link and put it on the website. So how do you publish? You go to publish, you go to email, or this email collaborator, publish. I've forgotten that. Okay, so share and publish to the web. Publish to the web is different from share with others. Publish to the web is that you're pushing it across the entire internet. Let's see something. Not a notification. So file, share, publish to the web. If you click on that, it tells you want to publish it to the web and start publishing. Let's publish and see how people will see it on the web. Even the published one, you can say, oh, I want only people within TTC. Remember, this is my TTC email. So only people within TTC means you have to have TTC email account, because it will ask you to log in for you to be able to see it. This is one of the ways that you can publish internal documents to your ecosystem within your school, within your campus. If you have a Google account on your own school domain, you can publish documents within your circle. So that even if the link goes outside, they will not be able to see it. Internal policies, circulars, lesson plan, lesson notes among teachers, and all of that. You can restrict access to the following. You can make it this. Automatically republish when changes are made. So when you check this box, the link is up as you work and you are updating it. It's updating in the public. You don't have to keep resharing the link. So if you publish it, it tells you it's published. Then you can copy this link and share it on email and all of that, and people will be able to see that document. Remember, we didn't restrict it, so let's see how it will look like. Let me copy that link and open incognito. I'll just paste it. See, you can see that it is published as a web page. It is not editable, and you can see automatically updates every 5 minutes. So if I make changes after 5 minutes, it will upload. Let's see. This is different from sharing it with people. Sharing it with people means they are able to see it as a raw document, edit, comment, and view as the case may be. But on the web, it's just a public-facing interface that they can see what is on that document, but they can't do anything to it. So you can imagine whatever use case you want to use this for. All right. You can also copy that link as an embed link. So when you say an embedded link, website developers know what this means. So I can copy this link, put it on my website, and it will be a page on my website, irrespective of the platform that I'm using, working on creating the website. So we've talked publish and embed doc. So that's where this one ends. Let's just rush through and see. So everything that we have done on Google Doc, we can do on PowerPoint, Excel. No, sorry, not this is called PowerPoint. Slide. PowerPoint is slide. Excel is docs, sheets, and Word document is Google Doc. So we can do all of this. So now, make fewer. We're looking at the next one is make fewer documents. Traditionally, you have students, you want to give them work to do. You have to either photocopy and hand it over to them. You want to give them assignments. You have a worksheet that they are supposed to work on. You have to make copies and give to them physically. There is also a replica of that in the Google platform. So we're in a Google Classroom now, and I have a worksheet that I want to give to you. I will be able to share with you to give you your own copy of it, not any other person's copy. Just the same way I have one worksheet, there are 20 people in the class. I go to the photocopier, I photocopy 20 and hand it over to them. This one, I can hand you over a copy and it will name it according to your name. I don't have to print and write your name on it. It automatically tags it to you, and I make multiple copies for you. So all of these are possible within Google Classroom. And we'll be looking at that as we go forward. How do you make fewer copies within Google Classroom? So the benefit of Google Docs Suite is that you can have one document with multiple versions. One document, you work on it, I work on it, and we'll look at the beauty of revision history. I can go back, I can restore this document back to a particular date. Let's say somebody messed up my work, I can go and say, oh, this document, somebody has made some changes. Then I can go here and see version history. I'll see every change that has ever been made on that document, and who made those changes. And I can revert back to a particular time. See all the changes that were made and who made the change. So let's say, oh, I want to restore my document back to when I first started. I just restore back to this version. And this document is back to this version. And I can still restore it back to the version that was the latest one, or the other version, this one. I can restore it back to this version. So nothing is technically really lost. You are able to restore. Then you are able to also identify who made those changes. You can pinpoint who messed up your document at what point. I can see that everything written by me and everything written by student one are color coded. As we progress in the course, you will see the benefit and the use cases of this. We're just highlighting those for now. So Google Tools and Google Doc is a word processor, just like Microsoft Word. Google Sheets is just like Excel. Then Google Slide is like PowerPoint for presentation. Google Form is where you can take survey and quizzes and all of that. Google Drawing is where you can actually use to draw online and make presentations or make workbooks for your student. We looked at the conversion the other time, so I'm just going to skip through this, and we did go through all of that. Create web drive, create a drive, Google App icon. We already mentioned all of that, and how you can share and edit and comment. We also looked into that. We talked about paperless collaboration, where I told you I can get a student to come into a document. I see what the student is doing. I can give him edit right, comment right, or view right. This does not just go between you and a student. It also cuts across whoever it is that you are collaborating with. And the beauty of this is that as you work, we can decide. We don't have to be in the same place for us to collaborate on a document. We'll experiment with that as time goes on in one of our sessions where we talk about group encouraging collaboration and group work, where all of us can get into a document and work on that document at the same time. And I will explain some of those use cases. That's why it's called paperless collaboration. And also ubiquitous collaboration. We can collaborate irrespective of time difference and and location differences. All right. So we looked at these questions. Now we'll go into bringing your quiz online, and I think that's where we'll round up. For today, I always wanted to do this subject in different, not combine Unit 3 and Unit 4, because both of them forms the bedrock of what we'll be doing and the usability of all of these features. That's why I want to keep them separate. So how many of us have used Google Form before? If you've used Google Form before, can you raise up your hands? All right, that's great. Okay, so don't raise up your hands as if you have questions. You can just do thumbs up, because I saw people raising their hands up as if they have questions. Okay, so a lot of times, most of us have used Google Forms for quiz, for gathering surveys, asking questions. Now, Google Form is useful whenever you have anything that people you need to collect any form of data from people. It could be registration, it could be surveys, it could be feedback, whether it's anonymous or personalized feedbacks. It could be quizzes, you could use it for quiz. Okay, somebody saying I only filled out one sentiment. So today you'll be able to create forms yourself, and I'll show you the differences and a lot of the use cases. So you can use it to do exit tickets. Exit tickets are what you use to gauge students' understanding at the end of your class. Some people use it for bell ringers. Bell ringer is how you use it to test their knowledge of what they are coming into the class to learn. You can use it to collect feedback for staff or for students, for parents, for registration of parties, school registration. You can actually use this to do a lot of things that requires you gathering data from people, alongside using it for quiz and exams online. All right, so let me just run through. We'll come back with the practicals. Let me run through the topics. So exit ticket, flipped classrooms, survey, formative assessment. How do you use it to do flipped classroom? You can actually put a YouTube video. I bet some of us don't know this. You can put a YouTube video in Google Form for the class that you're going to have next week, and ask students to watch it, and then create questions within that Google Form for that. And the beauty of it is that you can, let's say it's a 10 minutes video, and you think some of your students won't watch it at all. You can create multiple questions and ask questions at time stamps. So maybe the student watches up to 5th minute, and then you ask questions based on those concepts. And then from 6 minutes to 10 minutes, you ask questions based on those concepts. So this is one way you flip your classroom. The students do the learning on their own at home. You ask questions, and then you come back into the class, and then you are able to now make your class a learning center where it's collaborative, where you are not just the custodian of knowledge, but you are the one that oversees. You kind of like guide them through that knowledge part, and it becomes a more interactive session rather than one way you being the one teaching and all of that. So that's some of the beauty of flipped classroom. So you can do all of that on Google. We'll look at this: create, edit, choose, response, and all of that. These are steps to do it. I just want so there are a couple of questions. We'll go through all of these questions to responses. Let's see if there are what are the ways you can send the form out, email, links, embed, social media. We'll look through all of that. How would you create a quiz, the realtor's dilemma? How will you create a quiz and provide instruction to your student to meet your objective goals? So sometimes you might have formative questions or summative assessment. Formative assessment is assessment that you use to, as they are learning, you use to gauge their learning and it's an over you use to gauge their level of understanding as your course progresses. So it's formative, and then you can also use it for summative, which is like the end of term or quarter one quiz or continuous assessment quizzes and all of that. You can use it to get summary of responses, quick overview. You can use a YouTube and put it into the forms, and for all of them to be able to get to learn what they need to learn. But we'll look at this before we. Okay, so I think that's the end. So let's just go straight to the practicals. So how do you create a Google form? As mentioned, everything you want to access on the Google Apps, you go to the Google Apps icon and you go and look for forms. You click that. Or you can go to forms.google.com. It takes you directly to the form portal. All right, so go forms.google.com, or you click here and go to forms. But if you want to create a form in a particular folder, let's say I want to create a form in my Cam4 folder, I go into Cam4 folder and I click on plus here, and I will be able to go to Google Forms. So you can create Google Form from blank, or create a quiz, or you can create from a template. So whichever one you can click on, create from a template, you can, because I'm creating within a folder directly from my drive. It brings me here. What are the templates that are available? Exit ticket, assessment, worksheet, course evaluation, and all of that. So you can pick based on what you want to do from these ones, and they give you a particular template to work from based on what you want to do. So you have all of these other form, time off, work request, job application, and all of that. Or you can create from a blank quiz. So let's create something from blank. So this is a quiz. So I don't want to start first with a quiz. I will create two sets of forms. So this is a quiz. So I'll change this one later on to Cam4 quiz. Let's call it. Cam4 quiz. Let's see. All right, so that's Cam4 quiz, but I want to create one from blank. Again, you can either do this from plus here, or you right click here. It's all the same. Google just makes it easier for you to do so. So I want to create a blank form. So this is my blank form. I'll use this one to just go through all of the questions, and then we'll do quiz. So there is, the first thing here is there are sections. Sections is how you break your forms into different sections. Let's say you want to do a quiz. There's a section for objective or multiple choice, and then you have a section for essay or long answer or short answer. So you can do that. Or you are doing registration. You can do a section for personal information and a section for other information. Or you are doing a survey, you can do a section for personal information and then a section for gender. Okay, yeah, gender. If you select male, question for male or question for female. And we'll look at how you can do that. So section allows you to break your forms into pages rather than having, excuse me, rather than having a form that has like 100 questions or 100, yeah, 100 questions, whether it be quiz or questions that people should fill up for. So you can break it into pages and based on different categories. So you can use sections. That's where section comes in. So this is section 1, for example, description. You can always use this is, so you can add that. You can also format by making it bold. You can italics. You can put bullet points. You can, and then can do some other formatting or cancel formatting. So this allows you to, in the description box, you can do a lot of things. So you can type and provide context to your form. Questions. Let's start with different kind of questions. What are the kind of questions that there are? There is short answer. First, what is your name, date of birth, name, father's name, mother's name, email address, and all of that. So short answer questions. So this is going to be a short answer. I'm just going to say name, full name, for example. Short answer. Here, I mark it as required. This is a compulsory question. And here, these are some of the things. Descriptions. So descriptions allow you to provide additional information. So I can say, please provide surname and name and first name. Sorry. Right. So that's a description. So just provide. It's at the description level that you can format the questions. You can format. And so that's short answer. You can also add images to your question to your question. So let's say it's a quiz, you have an image, you can ask, you're discussing, you're asking question about respiration and you have an image, you have pinpointed the image and you want them to label the image. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you want them to label it. So you can put the image and ask question based on that image. That's possible. So image is possible to be there. So that's that. Let me talk about validation. So validation is good. For example, when you want a particular response, a particular kind of response, you can put validation. So let me not use validation under this one. I'll show you where we can use validation. For example, in email, when you are wanting to collect, question 2 is also, let me say short answer. I'll say email, okay? I want to test validation. So I'll say, okay, it's compulsory, and I want you to also provide a valid email. 20 minutes more. Now, so I want to validate so that people don't go and write rubbish. So I want that this must have a regular expression that contains at. So if anybody puts an email and they do not put at, it will not accept. So custom error, please provide a valid email. So that's what validation is about. That you are providing that this must be an email. It has to have the @ symbol. Or let's say it's a phone number. I can validate and say, okay, let's do another one. So the next one, this is how you add a question or you add a so this one is phone number. All right. Phone number. Short answer also. I can provide a validation and say validation. It's a number. Okay. Or if it's a number and it's is a number. So they have to put numbers. If they go and put something that is not number, it will not accept it. So that's just what validation does. So it gives you different kind of option. Text. If you choose text, you can say it must contain something. So let's say, for example, I'm asking you to provide an email, and it has to be at ttc.com. I don't want you to use any other email that is wrong. So you see text, and I want it to be email. So if it is not an email, it will not accept. So these are all ways that you do validation. So let's see, regular expression contains matches. So you have options to play around with numbers, whole number. Another way is you want to make sure that only people that are above 18 signs your form. You can put what is your age, and then you put a number to check that must be greater than 18. So the number has to be put there that is greater than 18, otherwise they will not be able to submit the form. So that's that about short answer. The next one is we can do long answer. Long answer if I want you to tell me about yourself, about me. I want you to tell me about yourself. I can put a description to ask that question. Tell me about yourself. So that's a long question. You can also add title and descriptions. So if I click on this, I'm adding this as a title and as a description. You can, like I said, you can add image to questions. You can actually also add a video as a question. And we'll get to that. And this is how you add sections to your. So let's say this is, I come here and I click on section. I say this is personal information. So this is personal information section, name, blah, blah, blah. Then here, I can come here and add another section and say professional, whatever it is. Professional information. So this is an example of how you use. So let's start with image. Again, let's say I want to ask a question about image. I go to image and I do respiration. Got an image on respiration. So I choose this one. Inside. Not supported. Okay. I ask a question and I click on this. Let's choose another Google Photos. Let's choose reproduction. Let's say I choose this one. This one. It's loading the image. Oh, this is in India. That's interesting. So I can say question gender, for example. Gender is multiple choice, but so multiple choice allows you to set option, and this is male, and then you are female. This allows you to suggestion. It makes suggestions. So this is my question. It's just I wanted gender so that people can say, okay, either you are male or female. There are two genders, so you can choose which one is the gender that you are in. So that's multiple question. Multiple question provides you with only one answer. Another option, if you want to copy the same question, you can copy by duplicating. You can duplicate the question, but I don't want to duplicate the question because it's an image. So here I'm going to add another question, and this one I'll make it drop down. So we're going one by one. Drop down is the same thing as multiple choice, but instead of presenting it presenting the two, it gives you a drop down. So what are the other? So I can say which level of education. All right. So this one is university. I'm just going to university. Just an option, secondary, and then masters. Okay. So this is an example of drop down. The next question is we're going to use check boxes. Check boxes, drop down and multiple choice allows you to choose one question, one answer. Check boxes allows you to choose more. Best food. All right, so your best food is Eba. This rice. So let's say this is it. Okay. So in this question, people can have more than one answer. I like rice and beans, so rice and beans would be my best question. The next set of questions will also be file upload. So you can accept file. Let's say you are using this for registration. You want people to submit their form, their files. You can receive file upload. But please note that once you add file to be uploaded, then by that this form will require people to sign in. It can no longer be an anonymous form. People would have to sign in. They would have to sign in to be able to um, upload a file, upload your CV. So this one is file upload. I'm changing to file upload. They'll be able to upload. Let respond upload their file. File will be uploaded to the homeowner's Google Drive. Responder will be required to sign in to Google when file upload are added. So once you do file upload, they have to sign in. And that means that person will have a Gmail account. So I'm uploading the file. And what this does is that it will take, when I fill the form and I upload the file, it will take my name and append it to my file so that my file is identified that this is the person's file. So I can set only specific file type. I say, okay, I want only document PDF. I don't want video. I want images also. So you can select what kind of file. And you can select how many number of file people can upload. You can select the maximum size, 1 MB or 10 MB for each person. It automatically create a folder where you'll be able to see all of the files. It will automatically create a folder. You see, CAM4 file response, upload CV for file response. So it automatically create that file. The next question that we want to explore is linear question. Linear question is on a scale of 1 to 5. Are you feeling good? Are you feeling great? Perfect? Bad? So on a scale of 1 to 5, that's let's say excited, indifferent. That's how we'll see. We'll look at how these questions are presented. We'll see. That's indifference. Oh, sorry. That's on a scale. You see, how are you feeling? Excited, indifferent on a scale of 1 to 5. The next one is rating on a scale of 1 to 5. Rate us, and you can increase the scale of 1 to 10. You can rate us. All right. The next one is multiple grid. Now, this is useful when you want to do match and pair and match. You know how sometimes you have a question where you will put cow, dog, cat, and you put the sound that they make, moo, meow, back. You interchange it, and you want students to draw line to connect them. This is how you do that with Google Form. All right, so multiple grid is, so you put it here, mix and match, or match. I don't know what you guys call it, match, something match up. So this one is, I'll put row here, cow, I'll put dog, I'll put cat, then I'll put here, this is backs, I'll put moose. I'll put meow. I'll put, don't laugh. Oh. Moo. Right, so we'll see how that works. Then the next one will be uh, multiple group. So this one is you can only cow, moose, dog, barks, cat, meow. Now, this is one-to-one match, but when you have one to multiple match, how do you do it? That's where you do checkboxes. So let's say, for example, I can say, um, let's say, boy, girl. So here, strong, uh, lazy, hardworking, uh, pretty, some. So these are just features that you use in identifying boys and girls. Okay, so so here, a boy can be lazy, strong, hardworking, handsome. So you is one to many. I might not properly set this up, but you get the idea. When we're trying to use this to show the characteristics of boy and girl, a boy can be lazy, strong, hardworking, but a boy cannot be pretty. So it can be strong, lazy, hardworking, handsome. And a girl can be strong, lazy, hardworking, pretty. So one to many. This is one to one when you are doing mix and match. So that's what that question is for. Then the next one is so we're going to, if you want to do dates, and this will just give you dates of birth, for example. All right, let's just do DOB. DOB date. So that gives you the date options. Then the last question is time. Time of birth. When did they born you? So, all right. So this is okay. Let me use. So let me now do the last one more question, which is the question for. Sorry, I'll delete this. We started a little bit late, so I'll take an additional 15 minutes. So let me bit about the next question. I want to add a video. So let's say that enable that enable teacher community. All right, this AI power. This is the mentorship class from yesterday. Let's say I add this and I insert. So this is the video, and I want to. Uh, so in the description is where this is not a quiz, so I will not be able. I'm adding a video, then I can add a question to that video. Multiple choice, ask a question based on that video. Let's just leave that. Um, let me talk about one more thing before I go. Where is the gender part? Okay, so let's say here, after gender section, I put add a section here, add a section. Section is female. Let's just say, for example, uh, don't worry that I put it here. Then I come here and I put male. I just want to use this to show something as we round up. We might not be able to do quiz today, or maybe we should be able to. All right. The next thing here is I can make a copy. I can move to trash. You see that this one also has add-on. Can get as many add-on. There are a lot of add-ons, especially with Google Form, eliminating questions, setting timers. You see a lot of add-ons that you can leverage on here. Those are what you find there. This is also where you get your add-ons. I have 3 add-ons. This one is choice limiter. Let's say, for example, some of the registration I have done before, if I want 60 people in a class, I can say, okay, this form is for 60 people. Once they've selected 60, it has reached 60 people, it will lock up or take that question away or take that form offline. So there's choice limiter. It limits the number of choices. Then this is AI ChatGPT quiz generator. You can ask it to generate quiz. Time and proctor. So it sets a timer for a quiz. If it is a 30-minute quiz, it sets a timer. Microsoft Form comes with a timer by default, but Google, you use add-on for that. Here is where you can change your theme. You can change the font types. You can also change themes. You can change the background color also. I can choose an image for my header. There are several images you can choose. You can also upload directly. So I'll just choose from their theme. I will insert, and that image will come at the top of my screen. It gives it an overall theme. I can change the overall color of the form. I can also change the font type, the text, the question font type, or I can make the questions bigger. Let's say I make the questions, you can see the questions are bigger. I can make the header. Those are the header. I can reduce the header. You see there. So you can play around with the stuff by clicking on this icon. This is how you preview. It will preview the form. I'll go back to that. This is how you go back, undo or do. Then the next one is this is how you publish the form. Currently, nobody can respond. Do you want to copy the unpublished form link? So you can publish the form here, or you can click here, and here is also how you send the link out for people. So if I want this link, if I send this link out now, I can send this link and say, okay, there are 2 kind of people that have access to a form. Editors, people that can collaborate with you on the form, or responder, people that respond. So if I send this form out now, it is only those within TTC, within my organization TTC, that has TTC account that can log in, that can answer. So you always want to change it to anyone with the link. That's a public one. So respondents will be public. And then once you've done that settings, you can click on done. But you have to first publish the site. When you publish means people are able to respond to the form. Because if you do not publish it, they cannot respond to the form. You need to make sure that the form is accepting reference. So the form is published. Now I can shorten the URL so that it's short, copy it, and then paste it. And people can now fill the form. Here is how you share it. If I want people to collaborate with me, who are the editors? I've restricted editors. Only people with this editor link can edit. So I'm the only one that can edit. And I've done it. So publish is you copy the publish link, you shorten it, and then let's go to incognito now and see how that form looks like. If you don't publish, then they will not be able to fill the form. So this is how that form looks like. It's asking for what happened. Let's see. Anyone with the link can respond. So why is he asking for account? So this is the form. Then I click on next. I see personal information. Remember, that's the first one. All the questions are correct. See, provide an email because we said this question has to be an email. So go to me at gmail.com. Phone number is a number. About me, I am the greatest. Example. Then you click next. So because we did section, that's why we click next. Male and female, I'm a male. Click next. Education level, this is the drop down. The first one is multiple choice. I like beans and rice. I can upload my CV, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, let's just upload something. You see, it tells upload 5 supporting documents. I'm just going to upload one so that we see where that file goes to. I've uploaded this one. It's more than 10 MB, so it will not accept. Remember, we set it as 10 MB. Let's see this one. All right, so accept this one. You will upload it. So file is uploaded. Because I say 5, you can upload more. If I say 1, then you will not be able to upload more. I'm feeling excited. I'm rating myself 10. Then I go next. Mix and match. Cow, nose, dog, bags, and cat, meows. That's that. Then boy is strong, hardworking, handsome, lazy. Girls are strong, hardworking, pretty, lazy. So one to many. Date of birth, I can select the date of birth, time of birth, and 9 a.m. for example. And then you can watch the video. The beauty of it is you can watch the video directly. Then I submit the form. Once form is submitted, if I go into the form, my form is submitted. I'll be able to see one response immediately in the form at the edit end. Again, you can see, we'll come to settings later on. One response, I can see the question. Now, one more thing that I did not do that I wanted to do that will be good for you. Sometimes you want to do branching. Branching is what you do when you have different set of questions for different category of people. So for example, you have a form out and that form goes to both staff, parent, and teachers. And you have specific question for parents, specific question for teachers. Instead of creating 2 separate forms, you want to bring one form because all of them have some questions in common. They have some questions in common, but they are different questions for different group of people again. So you can put it into one form and use branching to direct them to questions that relate to them. Even in quiz, you can say, okay, if you can use it to set exams, answer question 1 and 2, and then depending on which question you answer, you can move over to which section you desire. So there are a lot of use cases for this. So branching is very important, but branching only, you can do branching with 3 sets of questions. You can only do branching on 3 sets of questions: multiple choice, drop down, or check boxes. Those are the 3 questions that allows you to do branching, because that is the only set of questions that you provide choices to people. Only questions with choices allows you to do branching. Excuse me. So here I can come to this question and then I go to section based on answer. So in Microsoft, it's called branching. Here it's called go to section based on answer. So I want to do that for this one. So I say, if you select male, I want you to go to male section. If you select female, I want you to go to female section. Then I have to now say, at the end of the female section, where do I want you to go? You cannot go to the next section because you cannot be a female, and if you finish female, it will take you to the next section, which is male. So what do I do? After this male section, after the female section, what other one? There's no other thing. I want you to submit form. So after you've answered your section, it will move you to submit form. If there are other common questions, you can put those ones in another section and redirect them there. So the same thing for male, but unfortunately for the male side, after the male section, there is no other section. So by default, it will go to submit. So now that I've made that change, let's see how the form will play out again when we copy the link and go to open it. I would go next. I will still feel the same thing. Mail t@gmail.com. Phone number is number. About me is this. Go next. So here, if I click on mail, I go next. See, it brings me to the mail section. I can go back. If I click on female, it will take me to female section. And then you see it puts the submit button there. If I go to mail, it gives me mail section. Okay, sorry. There are a lot of use cases that we can use to do this. This can be used to set up register very complex registration form. From this, go here. From here, go there. This is this technique I used in setting up for the conference that we had, where you choose whether you want to be online or physical. If you are online, you fill in some details and then you submit. If you are physical, you have to choose whether you want transport or not. If you choose that you want transport, then you go to the next page where you choose which location. If you choose one location, it takes you to that location and list out the bus stops in those locations. If you take the other location, it takes you to the other location section where you see the bus stop for that location. So you can branch out as much as possible. For example, I want to use this form to set quiz for all my students from grade 1 to 5. I can branch and say, okay, grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you select grade 1, takes you to a section where you have all of grade 1 questions. If you select grade 2, takes you to a section where you have all of grade 2's questions. And I can branch and do from minor to very major and complex setup. You just need to plan it well. Maybe you are offering courses also. These are the courses available. You choose your department. From department, these are the courses or program. From this program, these are the subjects you can do. You can use it for course registration, program registration, subject registration, and all of that. So somebody's asking that we do branching again. We're running out of time. We've not even done quiz. Again, for branching only happens where you have choices. But to set up branching, you have to set up section. So I know I have different set of questions for male, different set of questions for female. So I set up a question that asks people to choose whether they are male and female. Then I set up 2 sections for male questions and female questions. So when I get to the female and male question type, that is where I now set the branching. So I click on that question and I click on the 3 buttons here and I say I'm selecting go to section based on answer. You have to activate this. If you don't activate it, it will not be available. So you have to activate it and then it becomes possible. Then you don't say, okay, if you select male, then continue to male section. If you select female, continue to female section. Now, because there is still a section after female, normally the default after each section is that go to next section. The default setting after each section is go to next section. But because I know I'm doing branching, I also must control, apart from controlling where you will direct them when they choose the choice, you must also control where they go after they finish answering those questions. That's very necessary. If we don't do this, immediately a female finishes the female question and this one says go to the next question, it just jumps to the male part. So you must control the choice, where the choice leads you to, and where you go after you have responded to the question based on your choice. So for here, I say go finally and submit. If there are other places or other functions or other sections that is common, I can route them to that section. Otherwise, I route them to form. But the mail section doesn't have that option because that is the last section. So after that last section, what next is to submit. So that's how you do branching. And again, like I said, branching happens with choices. So if I go to level of education also, I will see go to question based on answer. If I go to multiple choice check boxes, I will see, oh no, the check boxes doesn't work. Oh, yeah, sorry. It's where you only have the option to choose one thing, either one. So if I go to long answer, there won't be that option. If I go to short answer, there will be no such option. So it only happens with where you have two choices, minimum of two choices. So that's that about this. We would round up here and not do quizzes, and we'll start quizzes from next week. Although quiz is supposed to be part of our question today, but I think we've eaten so much into time. So we'll push quiz till next week. I will. Okay, so I would. I'll have to, because the question for this week involve the two, quiz and form. Okay, we'll just shift it. We'll shift it to next. All right. So while I prepare this, let's take some questions. If there are questions, please just raise your hands while I set up. All right. Let me see who is raised. All right, Rhoda, you raised your hand. Somebody say we can continue the class. Yeah, you can continue, but it's past 11 for me now. I need to rest. So yeah, we can't continue. All right, let's start from Rhoda Adeboye. Adeoye, if you have a question. I know you're enjoying the class. I am also. I enjoy it, but you know, the firewood. Oh, Rhoda, you're always raising hands. You don't ask questions. All right. Okay, Patricia. Let's start with Patricia.
All right, thank you so much, sir. So my question is, I just want to know the Google form, can it be used to solve problems?
Sorry? Can you come
I
again?
said the Google Forms. Can it be used? How do you use it for solving math problems? I say, how do you use the Google Forms to solve math problems, mathematics? Like,
Okay,
it has to
so
be showing a lot of all that.
all right, so I would, in terms of questions and solving math question, the only option that is available for you, you can put the question, however complex it is, you can either use it, type it, or you can, if it is mathematical expressions, you can write it on a piece of paper. If it is, maybe, for example, if it's an integration question or differentiation question or quadratic question, you can write it in a piece of paper, take a picture, and upload it as a question. But the student will have to manually solve it outside, and you will provide them the final answer. While that is not the best way, but that's the only approach. So they will have to solve it outside, and then the option you give them will be, okay, answer A is 2x, answer option B is 3x, option 4 is 5x, and then they will have to select while they've done the real solving on their scrap paper outside. That's the only way for maths questions. They will do the solving outside, and then they will provide the answer inside. Or another way is for you that you can ask them, if you are particular about the steps they took, then you can ask them to take a picture of their scrap paper and upload it, just like you saw the upload function. But again, those are some of the limitations. So for Google Form is good for essays, short answer, multiple choice questions. All right, let's move to Genevieve.